Right, so in today's video we're going to be talking a little bit about whether you actually need to overseed your lawn this spring or whether your lawn is just going to need a feed. Anyone who's been on my channel for a couple of years now will know that this lawn and the small lawn up at the top have been through sort of a phase of transition over the past couple of years. I've gone with ryegrass in the past and that hasn't worked, and more recently, as in, you know, this time last year, we decided to kill this entire space off and go with bent grass and fescue. And the idea behind that was the fact that bent grasses and fescues are more native to the UK and more suited to kind of fit this climate. And not just that, but the fact that this space that I'm in now is quite a tricky area really to grow grass. With the garage on this side and obviously the height of the wall and the fence over here just means that the garden sits in shade for pretty much the entire winter. But less of the history lesson about the lawns and more about the question I started the video with, which is sort of, should you overseed or should you feed? Now, if this was a ryegrass lawn, then overseeding would absolutely be the correct answer, because it doesn't spread with stolons and rhizomes. It's not a plant that's going to multiply itself. The only way to thicken up a ryegrass sward is to put more seed down to thicken the sward that way. With this being bent grass and fescue, you know, particularly bent grass, it's a creeping variety. Same with the fescue, to be fair. It's going to spread around the lawn. The more you cut it, the more it thickens up. And if you watched any of the videos that I posted last year on this space, you'll see that the more I cut this lawn, the thicker it became, to the point where in the middle of the summer, it was like a carpet. It was that nice. So the plan for the next month is to just feed the lawn and see what happens. In theory, if it just starts to feed the lawn now, it should hopefully start to bounce back. I've got around about 1.5 kilos worth of true grass in the spreader, which I'm obviously going to put down onto the space in a minute. And obviously the reason why I'm going with true grass is, it was the big experiment last year was whether I could manage and maintain a fairly decent lawn with really sort of minimal intervention. The only thing this space had on it last year was a liquid iron product just to give it a bit of a green up in the summer, and also true grass just to help the plant to grow and stay strong. And other than that, the lawn had absolutely nothing else put down onto it. No weed killer, no sort of range of products like seaweeds and things, because this does contain a lot of stuff. And I do need to say that this video isn't sponsored by the Lawn Association or True Grass, anything like that, but it does contain all the bits and bobs, which just makes your life a little bit easier. And I think the lawn last year was testament to the fact that you don't need to put 1,000,001 things down to have a really good lawn. Throughout the winter, all lawns are going to suffer. You're going to have some form of dieback across the space, just because, you know, they have a lack of light over the winter. Obviously the temperatures aren't there, and the idea is with your lawn is to get it into as strong of a state to survive through winter, and then when it, you know, comes to coming out of winter, it's kind of, let's revive that lawn, let's get it back to the way it used to be. So we're applying this product today. We're going to give it till the start of April, and then we'll really get a good chance to see how much of it has recovered. The temperatures aren't brilliant now. Seed isn't going to germinate at the moment, not a lot of it anyway, so it's worth a crack getting on with a bit of feed and just seeing what happens. Because if this is all it takes to get the lawn back to looking the way it did, then I think we might be onto a winner. And in case anyone is wondering, that was the higher end of the application rate for true grass. So I've got on with around about 50 grams per square metre. And you're probably able to see as well across the lawn, we have the odd weed knocking about, and actually we've got some ryegrass coming through as well. Just bring you in now, you can see that, you know, you've got ryegrass because it kind of has that. This is a good example of it here. See how it's kind of purple towards the base of the plant. It's got some ryegrass there, and we also have a little bit of poa as well. You see there's a poa plant with some seed heads on. So the lawn's by far from perfect, but that's probably the next thing we're going to do on this lawn. What we'll deal with is the weed grass problem and also the ryegrass problem. I think with the rye, I don't know if that's just seeds that have been sitting dormant in the soil, and, you know, over the winter, obviously, like I said before, the lawn's thinned out, and maybe those seeds have now just taken the opportunity to germinate, and the grass plants have come through. You can see this one over there, this absolute monster, is a big whopping chunk of the stuff, and you can kind of see it's ryegrass because there's so much vertical growth. It's a little bit like a competition to see who can get to the sky the quickest. I guess with time, the bent grasses and the fescues might crowd them out, but they're going to put the other plants into a bit of shade, and you can visibly see the difference in height between them. So there's two methods that I'm considering using to actually deal with those problems. Like I said, that is going to be something for the next video. And I'm going to be doing similar to this lawn up at the top as well. It's kind of fared, I'd say, a little bit worse than the one down at the bottom. However, it's not looking horrific. It looks nowhere near as bad as what it did this time last year. But in another video, I'm going to talk a little bit about this lawn in a bit more detail. So thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a like and stick around on this channel if you want to see what the results are. I know a lot of people enjoy the overseeding process, and there's loads of YouTube channels that are dedicated to lawn care, and watch all of them, give yourself a rounded view of what great lawn care looks like. You're not going to learn everything just from watching one channel, but if you do want to stick around and see how they fare without any overseed, and fingers crossed we don't have to anyway, then consider subscribing if you haven't already. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching.